Hello, my name is Ethan Walden, and this is my submission for the Ray Tracer Reflections Multi-Teapot assignment. So how I contributed to this is that once we found out how to make the shadows in general, I just made it so that the shadows just looked a little bit nicer, and and just tried to incorporate some sort of color gradient to make it look just a little bit more realistic. I'm going to run the program now, and this is going to take a very, very long time. So I'm probably going to cut the video at this point. Okay, so let's take a look at our output. As you can see, um, like specifically on this handle here, there's some differentiation in like the shades of gray on the handle of this teapot, for example. I'm just showing that there's like a gradient of colors rather than just solid shadows. All right, now to explain my code. First little random thing, I just decided to write it to a different file path. Um, just because. The other team members were deciding to do like output with shadows and output with shadows too. So I just decided to make an output with shadows final for when we finished it. Anyway, down here in the trace rate function, I introduced this new parameter here called num shadow intersections. Um, so of course this is a recursive function, meaning that it calls itself a particular number of times. And what this is it's just passing information in between each recursive call to keep track of how many times down the recursive track, I suppose we could call it, that this variable here, this ray encounter shadow was ever set to true. So as you see here afterwards, like once this happens, it'll check if ray encounter shadow, this particular variable that Benjamin created. And if we end up going inside this for a structure, it increments this variable, and this value is passed into our recursive call here, the assigning of the reflected color variable. So anyway, yeah. So what we were trying to simulate earlier, previously, and we're trying to like as this currently inaccurate comment denotes, um we were trying to just divide the base color by two if the ray encountered the shadow. But the problem is that that didn't actually it was always divided by two if there was an intersection. Like it never went any lower than 100 because it was 200 divided by two. I introduced the num shadow intersections variable to make sure that there was some variable relationship between the number of intersections down the recursive, I'm not sure what to call it, the recursive track, um, and the color and the base color used for the calculation of the color of the pixel down here. Anyway, yeah. And I also did some fun things with the values down here. These don't exactly line up with the ones I use in here, like proportionality for the base color. I just decided to do it like this. I don't know. I just think it looks nicer for some reason.